Hello and welcome to Adobe Live. It's so good to be with you here on this Monday. Thanks for joining me. Let's just check and have a look and see who's in the chat. We've got Sean, Doris, Sandrine, Bob, Caroline. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you all. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a smooth run without any technical issues today. But we are going to be designing a poster today for St. Patrick's Day, which is on Friday. Let me know in the chat if you celebrate St. Patrick's Day. What if you do, tell us what you get up to, what your traditions are, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, and we'll dive straight in. So let's head into Adobe Express. And if you haven't used Adobe Express before, you can just head to express.adobe.com, but also you can just Google it and it comes up right at the top. So today I'm going to design my poster from a template that I found, because basically I was on Adobe Express the other day and I found this really nice template that I wanted to use. So I thought it would be a good place to start. So I'm actually going to search for it. Now, you could put in St. Patrick's Day. You can see I've already searched and it's going to come up with lots of St. Patrick's Day themed posters. But I actually found a different template that was completely non-St. Patrick's Day related that I want to use. So I'm going to go and find that. So what I need to search for is sales flyer, because that's what it was under. And there's some cool things in here. I actually really love this one. I thought that was really cool when I was looking. Oh yay, Linda says top of the morning to everybody. Top of the morning to you too, Linda. So this is the one that I'm going to use. I thought it was really fun and bold, and so this is going to be my starting point for my poster. Hi Angus. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody. I hope everyone's having a good start to the week. So I'm going to use this as my starting point, and we're going to create it as a poster, but we're also going to create a flyer, and then we're going to turn it into an animated GIF that you could include in an email blast, I guess, you know, that you could send out the invite as well, because usually if you've got an event, if you've got a party, you want to communicate it in different methods, in different ways. So that is what we are going to be doing. So I'm going to start off by customizing this flyer. So the first thing that I'm going to do is resize it to poster size. We are going to have it, you can see all the like different dimensions that you've got here. We are going to have it as a flyer as well, but I want to start off as a poster because that's my sort of main thing that I'm working on. So it's just resized everything here. So I'm just going to update this text first, get it in position. And you can see here that it's just put on separate lines. So I'm just going to change this to St. Patrick's. And then day party. I just really like how sort of big and blocky the text is. I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. Now, obviously, we are going to go for greens as our color palette for St. Patrick's Day. It's got to be done. And in a minute, I'll move around some of these elements. So you can see that we've got everything on the layers here. So it should be easy for us to adjust. So I'm just going to head to the background and we'll start off by making that a nice green. I'm just going to pick from the, from the color palette here rather than looking up anything in particular. Joe says he's a big fan of big text. Me too. I like to feel like I'm being shouted at, especially when it's about party. Hi to Emma, who's joining us in the chat. Awesome. Great. So the next thing that I'm going to do is change this type, because I'm going to make this green as well, because I don't want it to be so contrasty, so that the information that's sort of laid on top is fairly easy to read as well, because there's going to be quite a lot going on in this poster. So I'm just going to sort of, I think go with something like that. I'm going to bring it all up because I might use that space at the bottom to put some information. Awesome. I'm going to bring this down. I like that I've got all the elements that I need, but I can just sort of start to, tweak them and change them. And they are at the moment helpfully all grouped together. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to have St. Patrick's Day poster written on here as well, just in case. Sean's laughing at me saying that I like to be yelled at. I mean, only in a like design sense, not in a real life sense. So I'm going to put a St. Patrick's Day party on here as well, just because I want there to be no doubt, just in case the text in the background might not be super legible for everybody. So this is just to sort of like reinforce what it's about. So I'm going to do St. Patrick's Day. Hang on, let me get on this line. Patrick's. I've got to remember my apostrophe. Otherwise, Tony will tell me off. Let's put party on the same line here. And then I'm just going to make that a bit bigger because I want it to fill the circle as much as possible. Now, I definitely don't want to go with that red because I don't think that's working that well on top of the green. So I'm just going to find a different color. I quite like this blue on there. Maybe a yellow. I think a yellow could look, I think that could look cool. Let's see if we can make it a little bit brighter. There we go. Obviously, now the text's going to have to change because white text on yellow, never a good option. We could pick out one of the other colors, maybe this blue. So we've got the sort of starting point of our poster, and you'll see it sort of come together really nicely and quickly because I'm using a template. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find some more on theme kind of symbols. So I'm going to get rid of this little lightning bolt, and I'm going to have a look in design assets for rainbows. Oh, it always helps if you spell correctly, if you want to find things. Right, so let's just have a look at the rainbows and see which one we think will work. I actually think that one's quite fun. There's also lots of really sort of cool, I'm not going to use this on this poster because the style's not right, but there's like all these cool kind of like lens flare and rainbow effects that you could add to your designs, which look really cool. I think this one's quite fun as well. I might bring that one in for now, but I'm going to bring this rainbow in as well, and then I can decide which one I want to go for. I think maybe the rainbow with the clouds works better. Let's get rid of the star. So I'm going to put that up here. I'm just going to move this over slightly, and I can group those together so that I can easily move them around together. Right, let's update this bit. So I'm going to change this to have the information about the dress code, and you'll see that I've worn green for the occasion, and the dress code is simply going to be to wear green. So let me just update that. Nice, and that amount of text actually fits in really well. What do we think? Do we keep that color? I'll leave it for now. I think it's working with the green. Shamrocks, yes, Angus says shamrocks. We definitely need shamrocks. Let me just quickly update the date. So I'm just going to ungroup this and click on the text, and I'm just going to make it, I'm just going to put for March, since it was already abbreviated, and that'll fit in better. 17th, this template was very forward planning. We'll go with 2023. And then, okay, perfect. So this is, I'm just going to group those back together again. Make sure that we have all the elements so that we can move it around easily. Let me know in the chat what you think of this purple color, or if you think it needs to be changed. Joe's busy on January the 29th, 2033. Flip, I can't even say it. Yeah, that is advanced planning. Right, so I'm just gonna, in fact, I'm gonna leave that as is, because I'll just change this to, maybe I'll change this to St. Patrick's Day, but since this is a fictional poster. They don't need to be the correct Saint, oh dear, Patrick's Day. Nice. Okay. So I just want to play around with some of these colors. Oliver says it needs leprechauns. Yes, I'm going to get leprechauns and shamrocks. Don't you worry. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, let's have a look in shapes. So I had to write down how to spell leprechaun. Yeah, because I was struggling with it. So let me know if you see a leprechaun that you like the look of. I think he looks quite friendly. Oh, this one's quite cute. Is that a leprechaun though, or a gnome? I think that might be a gnome. I don't know, maybe. Let's have a look. Some of these are quite entertaining. Check out this little guy. This one. I love these leprechauns. I feel like a more simplified version for this poster would work better. Like this one, where his hat and beard and face just all merge into one. Oh, a leprechaun flag. That's quite nice. Oh, and the boots look cool as well. Okay, I'm gonna have to eventually pick one. I feel like there was a good one at the top. Let's scroll back up. I actually think maybe the first one or this one's quite cute. Let's go with this one. And then the thing that's really nice about all the shapes is that you can change the color on them. So that is good. Let's see where we're going to have this guy. Maybe down here, the dress code. Or maybe, in fact, we should get rid of this smiley face and bring our leprechaun in here. I think that works well. Definitely need to change the color though. Maybe we'll go with the dark green for that. Nice. Oh, hi, Uma. Nice to see you. Okay, so we've got a leprechaun in there. Let's put him on a jaunty angle. I don't know why, but everything I design has to be on a jaunty angle. Let's find a shamrock. Let's see if I can spell that. Nice. Ah, fun. Okay, awesome. These look really good. It's got to be a 4-leaf one, hasn't it? Does it? Maybe it can be 3. I'm going to go with this one. Let's stick that in. And what I'm going to do is grab some of the colors from this rainbow. So if I go into my color palette and get the eyedropper tool, then I can just hover over and get that blue. In fact, I might try and keep it to all these colors. That'd be a nice to keep it consistent. So if I get this orange, nice. We've got the yellow here. Maybe for this one, I'll ungroup it again and just change this. I don't know. I can't bring myself to use the red on top of the green. I think it's too much. Maybe a lighter green. Not sure that stands out enough. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the light blue for this. Nice. And then I'm going to change the shamrock to the light green. I think that'll work well. And it saved it here in the panel for me. Oliver says on St. Patrick's Day, everything is on a jaunty angle anyway. Yeah, I'm sure that is correct for a lot of people. Right, I'm going to put in a few of these shamrocks. So just bring them around. Maybe have it overlapping this. And then I definitely need to change the color of this. Maybe I'll go with this blue up here. Oh, and we definitely need to change that for something more St. Patrick's Day. Right, I think it's coming together. Let's just find, maybe we bring another shamrock down here, or maybe I use a different shamrock. Let's have a look. There was maybe one like this. Let's get that in. Bring it down here. And maybe I'll make it orange. I know shamrocks aren't orange. Oh no, that's weird. You can't have an orange shamrock, can you? Let's go with the green. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to just change this text to the yellow. I could spend ages just sort of fiddling around with the colors. Okay, cool. I think that's looking fun and playful. I think it stands out. It's got the key information, so the party, the date, the dress code, and would be like the information, the contact information, and where it is. So now I've got my poster designed. Next up, we are going to like duplicate the page, and we're going to resize it. And so I'm going to make it into an A5 flyer so then I can get some printed. Now, it does a pretty good job with this, but there are just a few bits that are going to need sort of rejigging. Ooh. Just to make it look like it was intended for this size. But I am always really impressed with sort of how it moves the things around and gets them pretty much how you want them. So actually that hardly needs any adjusting at all. Okay, so we've got our poster and our flyer. And then next up, I'm going to create a new page. And what I want to do is create something that I can put in an email newsletter so that I can email people and invite them. But I want it to not be a static image. So what I'm going to do is resize this again, and I'm going to go for something that's landscape. So maybe the equivalent of like a YouTube thumbnail. Let's have a look. Or an Eventbrite, that would be good as well. Let's do it with the Eventbrite size, because then if I was going to sell tickets to this event, I could have a banner on Eventbrite. I love that it gives you all the dimensions there for you and makes it super easy. Now this is going to take a little bit more rejigging, but that's fine. We can do something with this. Let's just have a play around. It might be that we have these elements over to one side here, and then let's move around some of these just so that we can see what we're doing. Funny that was grouped together and it's, oh, there we go. Just a little glitch there. Now it's grouped. Okay, so we can get all these elements back in sort of place. Let me just zoom out slightly so we can see the whole thing. This is, yeah, I mean, this one's a bit trickier to get the design to work over on another, like completely different dimensions. Oh, I lost my yellow. Hang on a second. There we go. Group that together so that we keep it all together. This information's pretty important. So let's make that nice and big. Make this a bit smaller up here. And then we just need to adjust this. Now let's just have a look. You can see I can select them on here and make sure that I've got all the elements that I need to make sure everything's selected. Perfect. So then we'll bring that in here. Make sure everything's nice and big. And then we'll scatter our shamrocks around. Okay, so we've got our sort of event graphic to promote it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate this. So if we head over to animation, we can have a little play around with the different styles. So like flicker, I quite like this one, and then everything sort of fades in, which is nice. That one, I do like that one, but I don't think it works with this design. Oh, hi, Annika. Nice to see you. Joe says, I went to Offset Festival a few times in Dublin. Never knew if it was coincidence or intentional, but it was always St. Patrick's Week. Oh, that is so fun. I hope that was intentional. It was also a brilliant design conference. Yeah, I really want to go. That's cool that it was in Dublin. I went to that actually. I did go to Offset Festival one year. I think it was like one of the first ones. It was a long time ago, so I'd semi-forgotten about it. But yeah, I think that's the only time I've been to Dublin. Okay, so let's get back to animations. So we could go with typewriter. I think for this, that takes a little bit too long. Color shuffle. Let's see what it does. Ooh, that's pretty crazy. I'm not sure about that. It's introducing all sorts of colors. Grow. I think at the moment, my favorite, and you can let me know in the chat what you think. I think Flickr might be my favorite. And then everything zooms in. Yeah, Joe, I'm pretty sure I was at the one in 2011. That sounds right. Crazy. We might have been there at the same time. How funny. Awesome. Okay, so I've got my animation. So what I'm going to do now is download it, and you'll see that it gives me the option to download it as an M4 video, MP4, sorry. So I'm going to download that. And then what I'm going to do is just make my screen a bit smaller. It's just going to take a few seconds, I think, to download. But what we're going to do is we are going to use the quick actions in a minute, and we are going to turn it into a GIF that we can then put in our email. And that should work really nicely. I'm not sure why it's not downloading though. So let's just give it a second. I'm just going to have a quick cough. Annika says maybe there's a photo of Liz photobombing one of Joe's photos. Oh, that would just be too good if there was photographic evidence of us both being there. Okay, as usual, I haven't named my project. Annika can't tell me off for not saving because it saves automatically, but she could tell me off for not naming it. But anyway, I'm just going to drag that over onto my desktop, and then I'm going to head back to the home page. Let's and scroll down to quick actions, and you'll see there's one here that says convert to GIF. So all I'm going to do now is drag and drop my video, and you'll see over here I can choose the quality. You can also change the size. I would definitely recommend, though, creating it the size you want, because it's going to give you sort of black borders, or you can click filter screen, but then obviously you're going to miss like a whole bunch of the artwork. So yeah, we'll stick with original size because I made it the size that I wanted. We're going to go for small because we want it to be low quality for the email, and it's going to appear, we don't want it to be sort of slowing things down. Oliver says my project is still a name. That is true. It is a name, but it's also the name of like everything that I've ever designed in Adobe Express, which is not very organized of me. So then we just hit download, and it's going to save it down here as a GIF for me. And then I can use that in my email. So I can invite people by email. I can stick up posters wherever I want to. I can hand out flyers. So you can see that it's really easy to then have a sort of, multiple ways of inviting people. It's going to be a big party. This is going to take a little while. Oh, there we go. It's doing it now. It didn't take that long. So it's just processed the video, and it's just downloaded it as a GIF for me. And if I just quickly get that up, you'll see here is my GIF. So let me just get back to Adobe Express. So we've got our GIF. Now, the last thing that I'm going to do is go back into my project, and I'm just going to make a social media graphic as well. So you'll see up here, we've got our poster, we've got our flyer, we've got our graphic that I've made into a GIF for email, but is also going to be, if I was selling tickets, this would also be the artwork for Eventbrite, because those are dimensions that we made. So I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to close this because it's getting in my way. And I'm going to go to resize, and this time I'm going to make it a square for Instagram so that I can promote it there. And I can also use the poster, I will resize and make that into stories, like the sort of dimensions of stories, which will work really well. So you can see that in like half an hour, I've created everything that I need to promote my St. Patrick's Day party. And obviously this, if you're not celebrating St. Patrick's Day, you can do this with whatever it is. You know, if you're running an event for work, or maybe a workshop like as part of your business, then this will work for that as well. Thankfully, because I grouped everything, I can just have a play around now and have that text in the background. but have these all nice and big so that people can see the important information. So we'll just bring that down here, move that out slightly, make my rainbow bigger. Patrick's SpongeBob party. Yeah, that could work. Right. So we're nearly there. So then we have our graphic that we can just click share. It's just saving my project for me. And then we will get this scheduled in the scheduler. And it's just nice that you can do everything from one place. So let's, scheduling is only supported for, okay. So it's because I've got multiple pages in my project. So all I would need to do is if I go back to the home and go to projects, then I can just duplicate this project. And I'm going to save it as Instagram promo. And then I'll just delete the other pages. Yeah, Joe's got a good plan. I'll schedule it for 2033. You know that what'll happen though, Joe, if I did do that, is that I would 100% forget about it. And then in like 10 years' time, this random post would go live and I'd have no memory of what it was. Okay, so now that I've got it as an individual, and I could even do it with the animation if I want to. But let's just take the animation off for now. 1 second. I'm going to click none. I'm going to let it save it again and then head to the scheduler. I have seen, one of my favorite things is watching people do demos like this and then scheduling something and then forgetting that they've scheduled it and it going live. Annika says, encrypt a message for future Liz. I actually love this idea. Joe says, I love adding random future events to my calendar and friends' calendars. That is brilliant. My husband likes to set reminders on my phone for me, like with funny messages. So that's also entertaining. Come to my St. Patrick's Day party. And then I would just pick when I want to post it. So we'll pick the 17th. And I'm going to be bold and I'm going to schedule it and I'm going to trust myself to come back and unschedule it later. But yeah, so that's how easy it is to get it up on social media. So within half an hour, we have created our poster, our flyer, our event like graphic for selling tickets, our GIF for emails, our social media post. And we've scheduled it and it's all ready to go. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining me. I hope if you are celebrating, you have a great St. Patrick's Day on Friday. If you're not, I hope you have a great Friday anyway. Thank you, for being here. It's really nice to see you all. And I will be back next Monday at 12 p.m. And if you stick around at 2 p.m, Melanie is going to be live. I think sharing some Illustrator tips, but anyway, come back at 2 and hang out with Melanie and that'll be awesome. And yeah, see you all soon.